This is the second time I've had to follow Mark. I hope it's the last. I suppose my day job is working in public relations in a large, inverted commas word, public relations in Dublin. And when Steve rang me and asked me to come and talk based on my experiences to inspire people, this is a bit of a problem, because everywhere you look, and any image you ever look for me is like that. He's a 40-something-year-old grey-haired guy in a suit, and I can't think of anything less inspiring on Friday night. Anyway, we'll move on. I started life in the east of Sligo, looking up at a mountain called Mount Brickley. Now, it's really a bit of a hill, but we like to call it a mountain. Sligo significant to hold the thought, because I'll come back to it. But I learned a lot from there, and the one thing I took out from was an education, because my father decided he was going to send me to school so that I could go to college so I wouldn't end up on the farm. But anyway, I work in the communications business, but it's not just PR in the sense of the PR job. It's fundamental to any business, in my opinion. This guy proves it. But I think it's more than just kind of the brand, like the Ryanair. I would call it like oil in the business. This is an iconic ad from the 70s and 80s about oil. You know that picture of the Castle GTX down the side of the tin, out into the wrench. That to me is what communications is in a business. And it's not just about selling products, it's about talking to all your audiences. So whether it's your community, whether it's your partners, whether it's the people who work for you. These things can't happen. You can't get to be the best company, you can't get to be the best stock without good communications. And it's not just about business. Another little window of my life is I'm on the board of Dublin Simon, helping the homeless. Now I'm a bit unworthy, to be frank, but they thought I could do something, so I said I would. And you can't do what they want to do without communication either. So it helps everywhere. Now I'll come back to Sligo on the farm. A couple of experiences in my life that were formative in getting me to where I am. One of the first big things I worked on was a guy called Larry Goodman, a beef barn, went to buy dairies. He wanted to buy dairies all over the northeast. And I worked on the communications, and they won. They thought I was great. I didn't actually know about communications, I was 23, but I knew about cows, so they thought I was great. That's what farming does to you. I then worked for Dunn Stores when they were taking on a strike, or 3 or 4 strikes, and that taught me that. And then I went to Hungary. And when I went to Hungary, they thought PR was either one of 2 things: launching products or saving politicians from themselves. And I had to explain to them in very simple English, or a little bit of bad Hungarian, Kicsit Magyarul, what communications was about. It taught me a lot about how to explain what communications meant in the business. And then I came home and I got to be the boss of Drury Communications, and I still am, for another 4 weeks. And that taught me a lot, because when you have to make decisions, real decisions, sometimes affecting people's lives, then you learn an awful lot more about yourself and about communications. A couple of quick lessons about communications and communications in a business, and a couple of things that happen to be along the way. The first thing is, nobody can do it all themselves, because if you do, it'll go up in smoke. And a simple example I had about 20 years ago, a company I was working for was going public on the stock exchange. And I left Dublin on Saturday night to go back to Sligo again to play football, of which more later. I was the only person in the entire project that knew a certain amount of information. And if anything happened to me, that project was down the drain, and I was 23 years of age. So there's no such thing as a one-man band. This project, the World Equestrian Games, is the biggest disaster I was ever involved in. But it was a great experience that brought me all over the world. 3, 4 things I'd say about business. First of all, it's about people. 90% of companies say that, 90% of them are talking crap, but it's true. They don't necessarily mean what they say, but if you get it right with people, you can do anything. If you have common purpose as a group of people, you can do anything. And on top of common purpose, if you're running a business, you need to have some method, some plan, some running order for your day, your week, or your month. But if you've got common purpose, good people, a clear plan or running order, you can achieve anything in any business. And communication is a critical part of that. It's, as I said earlier, the oil that runs the machine, and that's part of my experience in life so far. You also need to have a goal. GA posts, remember them, I'm going to come back to them as well. Sligo GA posts, remember what I'm coming back to. So that's a big part of my life, but if you have a goal, if you have good people, if you have common purpose and some method, there's a lot of things you can achieve. And then in terms of communication, you must have focus. Tony Blair, when he did what Gordon Brown could never have done and won an election 13 years ago, he had a target group of people and he went after them. He ignored everybody else. Micheown O'Hare, the great commentator, when he actually went to do a commentary, he had one individual person sitting in a chair beside a fire still in Clare, and he talked to that person. total focus. If you get all those things right in the business, in my humble opinion, you have a great chance of being a happy camper. Now, I want to come back to Sligo. This is a picture of Sligo playing football in Croke Park. Watch it. Winning trophies in Croke Park. Sorry, it doesn't happen around here that often. So, I put that up there for one reason. That's a team. They had a purpose, they had a strategy, they had a method. If Sligo can win a trophy in Croke Park, it proves that anything is possible. Thank you.